Choose your fighter.
Look how good we had it, y'all. Look, character select screen. You can pick your emotes, perks, and everything at the menu as you are picking your character. And then when you match with an opponent or your opponent comes into the lobby, boom, it slides. And look at this presentation right now. You can pick your perks live on the screen. You can see the perks, they're big, they're bold. You can see what the opponent's running, they're not tiny. If you wanna look at what type of banner icons you have, when you highlight things, they'd be huge. They wouldn't be this tiny little thing that says you have 30 wins. Like, no, this was it. Oh, and guess what happens when you win? Guess what happens when you knock somebody out? Victory would pop on the screen just like it does now, but look at this outro. Look at it, look at this esports level presentation. It's your character hitting the emote, big name, winner, you and your teammate, scoreboard, and your characters are big, they're front and center. Your stats are in the board. Then it pops up and it tells you what rank you are. Like, you could see everything, and it's big and it's centered, and it takes up the whole screen with the information that you need. And when you compare that to now, look at this screen. Look, Morty's covered up, you can't even see him. They don't even have the proper border alignment. Look, you could see the underscreen underneath it. It's not even fitting to the screen, not even the right aspect ratio, and it flickers. How do you do that? And then this stuff, it takes a while to load. Some of it doesn't even load the picture of the thing that you unlocked for a whole set. Like, it's just clunky. It's cluttered. They try to cram everything on the left side of the screen. Look at all that real estate you got on the right side of the screen for stuff. You could have made the characters bigger in the center of the screen like we used to have. And if you don't agree that the UI got significantly worse, look at this. If you've played Marceline, I want you to go to your profile, check your rank history, and look, they don't even put the entire name inside of the box. How do you do that?
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
And this might be my hottest take of the video. Those big, gigantic, enormous, obnoxious hitboxes that we used to have that felt like they were all encompassing, reached everywhere, vacuumed you in, and hit everywhere, those made sense. Because back in the beta, we were like a gnat and a fly, duking it out. We're going Super Saiyan 14 level supersonic speeds, never before seen by Akira Toriyama or Sega. We've never seen it. We were moving like bath salt zombies in South Florida. It was something unforeseen and unprecedented at that time.
I like it. Hell, I love it. You see, I'm just itching. I'm itching to do it again.
And those big hitboxes never really bothered me because you see how fast we're moving? Like, I'll show you some beta footage in the background for most of this video, but like, we're moving. Like, you need those big normals in order to hit these people on these gigantic stages when even the tanks are flying around moving at Mach 17. So giving the flies fly swatter size hitboxes made sense to me, and it was a necessary evil because you wouldn't want to have the exact same game with the exact same movement, but everybody's hitboxes are so super well defined, you would never be able to get a hit because two gnats are not going to ever hit each other if they're flying around with thumbtacks. It's not going to work, which is one of my main problems with official release when they slowed everything down, because we still had the giant, obnoxious hitboxes, but we were no longer fast enough to get away from them. So you had some characters like Wonder Woman, Rick, Superman, where yes, they may have been nerfed from what they were in the beta, but you still couldn't get away from them. So you would just get hit by things and you were like, well, that's the game. There's nothing I could do about that. It was just GG's. And it just consistently felt that an entire stock could be decided by one interaction, which, to be fair, hasn't necessarily been completely changed, given the fact that some of the balance decisions in this game have been absolutely mind-numbing and just astonishingly bad, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But now's about as good a time as ever to get to it, so we might as well talk about it. There are some characters, even in this game right now, who have combos that are just, I did the same thing, I dashed forward, and then I did the same thing, and then I dashed forward, and I did the same thing, and then I dashed forward, and then I profit with the big kill move at the end of it. And there are some with a more concrete version of that than others. And don't get me wrong, I understand they implemented the tech system in hopes to stop some of the ground bounce ones, but let's be completely honest, there are some characters where just having the tech system just ain't enough. Especially when it starts off a commonplace situation, like off of a jab perhaps, off of a whiff punish perhaps. And believe me when I tell you, none of them are hard to do. Normally they're just jab, jab, down tilt, dash, jab, jab, down tilt, dodge, jab, jab, down tilt, and then go into the big move. And when it comes to some of the balance decisions that have happened over the official release seasons 1 through 5, let's be completely honest. Sometimes they would take something away from a few characters because they say, hey, that is not how we want the game to play. Then they'll add a new universal mechanic that stops the thing from being able to be done in the first place for a lot of those characters. My favorite go-to example was characters like Garnet and Steven Universe, where they're like, hey, we don't want you guys being dribbled like a basketball the entire time. LeBron James, we don't want you sitting there dribbling people like a basketball all the time. Then they removed those characters' ability to do that, and then a couple patches later, they had the tech changes, which, given how the ground bounces worked when they had those combos, wouldn't work in the tech system. So you would think, well, I can get access to my combo routes now, right? So y'all are gonna revert those changes so I can get access to my super cool combos, which you have already made impossible now for me to infinitely loop with the tech system. So I'm gonna get my bounces back, right? No. Meanwhile, for the longest time, Superman was able to keep his. Shaggy still has his to this very day, as you guys saw in the earlier clip. So it never felt consistent across the board, because now, even with the Arya players in the current patch, you got them screaming from the heavens, woe is me, I can't combo the way I used to, and the way that I would kill people, and the win conditions that I used to have, and then you would have the Marceline players like, they took away our guitar combos, what are we gonna do now? And then meanwhile, you saw two characters in the game right now they're just living La Vida Loca out there. They're just doing it. And the justification that the devs had for nerfing your character was, we're sorry, but we just thought you had it too good. And we don't want our game played like that, which is fine. That is a fair defense. But then why do you just take one thing from the characters and you say you shouldn't have this because that's not how we want our game to be played? Then just hand it over to somebody else and be like, go on out there and be somebody. You deserve it. What are we doing? And some characters, they received nerfs because they were too oppressive. Some of their normals were just too good. And then we got shields, and it's like, oh, well, we can make my normals back to being good again because we have shields now. You can block them and then punish, right? No, you will not be getting your compensation buffs for the shields, which was very unfortunate for a few of the characters on the roster. And then you have some characters on the roster like Bugs. Even if you do shield all the normals, he's still safe and he's still gonna get out of dodge. And it's a mess. And the sentiment is far worse to the casual player. Like, some people who are still stuck on this hashtag save MultiVersus, just play the clip.
I think I've seen a group of people talk and like, hey, let's go raid these big streamers' streams and tell them to play MultiVersus so they can save it. Hey, bud, your game's dead. Me playing MultiVersus ain't gonna save your game. It's done. I've played it. And you know why MultiVersus is dead? Because Shaggy never got nerfed. Or Banana Guard. That's the reason MultiVersus is getting whatever it is.
And listen here, I 100% disagree. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand some people might leave because of balancing issues, but as far as the big issues that were plaguing this game since the beta into official release, if I had to make a top 100 list, Banana Guard and Shaggy nerfs are like reason number 89 and 90. But why I included this clip was mainly because this is what the people who are casual think about your game. There is nothing that is impressive to them about your game in any way, shape, form, facet, reality, or otherwise. And I hear people are believing the rumor about Tony saying he's gonna give up his position so WB can give PFG an extra 1 or 2 seasons. And listen, believe what you want. I'm not here to tell you what's right, what's wrong. What I am here to say is, this is the same Warner Brothers that couldn't market a looter shooter with the DC IP, with all of the big boy hitters of the DC universe. Every time Warner Brothers has tried a live service game, it's crashed and burned like a plane on September 11th. Or anything in the past couple of weeks in 2025. And I know this isn't indicative of anything, but the MK characters are showing up in Fortnite now. Like, we could put Jays on Sub-Zero's feet. We can make this meme a reality now.
Check out my new shoes. They're the brand new one.
You can keep your buckles, Scorpion. Wouldn't want you to get cold feet.
And obviously, yes, there have been positives. Going from season 1 to season 5 of MultiVersus has been a slow and rocky roads of up and downs, but I can definitely say where we are now is at least a couple steps ahead of where we were at launch. The problem is, if we kept going at this same trajectory, this game probably wouldn't be a banger, super fun for everybody time until like season 11 or 12, and ain't nobody got time for that. And look, I hate to harp on aesthetics too much, but come on, bro. You telling me you don't want to log in and see your character front and center like this? Big play button, playlist on the left, advanced tutorials that teach players the game. never mind. I'm gonna just stop. I'm gonna just stop right there. As far as uninstalling, please comment section, enlighten me. What was y'all's 13th reasons and why? And I'll see you guys on the next video, which, spoiler alert, it is going to be a Powerpuff Girls video. And if you take nothing else away from this video, just know, I'm not saying that season 6, 7, and the future aren't possible. What I'm saying is, if we go by logic and the evidence at hand, there is no way we can come to a logical conclusion that this hashtag save MultiVersus or any of the rumors about it are gonna work out.